How about you? I'm Hank. Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the best advice I've heard people give to potential tractor owners or potential tractor buyers. Number three is it very well could save your life. Let's talk about the best advice that I've heard. The best advice I've seen on Facebook groups and on online forums, things like that, is have a grease gun and do preventative maintenance. I'm telling you, especially if let's put you in the category of I just bought a tractor, or my tractor will be delivered here soon and I'm getting ready to take possession of it. You need to walk around that tractor when you buy it, and you need to make sure that the lug nuts are tight. You need to make sure that the frame bolts are tight. You need to make sure that this bolt is tight, that nut is tight, and all that good stuff. So you need to make sure that the preventative maintenance, you need to check the oil in it. Now, the dealer has the responsibility to do a pre-delivery inspection, a PDI, and you need to make sure that they take care of that for you. But hey, look, we're all human, right? We're going to overlook some things. Maybe he got 4 out of the 5 lug nuts tightened or whatever. It happens. So make sure that you get ready and you get in that mindset already, especially if you've never owned equipment before. Hey, I've got to get this preventative maintenance stuff taken care of. It's the best advice you can get. I've got to grease this thing. The book's going to tell you to grease it every 8 hours. You're going to want to check the oil, check the water, check the air filter every single time you get on that machine. What do you guys think? Do you think 8 hours is enough greasing, or are you just like, oh man, it's been 6 months, I think I need to remember to put, I forgot to put grease in it, and you put grease in it after you remember that you ain't done it in 6 months. Leave a comment below and start telling me some of the advice that you've gotten. And we're going to actually do another video called the worst advice I've heard from tractor owners about buying tractors. But in this video, we're going to talk about the best. And number one is get you a grease gun and get ready to take care of the preventative maintenance. I'm a big fan of the battery powered grease gun, and it's quick, it's easy, and bam, 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 and you're done. So I highly recommend a battery powered grease gun of some sort. We use DeWalt products here at our farm, but Milwaukee makes a good one. Hercules makes a good one. Harbor Freight. There's not, as long as one works, and a lock and lube. Get you a lock and lube on there as well. But that is some solid advice. I want you to make sure that you do the preventative maintenance. You're checking your fluid levels. You're checking your lug nuts to tighten up the bolts. Put a paint stripe across your lug nuts, across your frame bolts, to make sure that you can see a quick visual glance if they work their way out or not. So that's some really, really good advice. But that's not the only good advice I've heard. I've heard some more good advice too. So let me tell you about another piece of advice that I've heard that I think is the best advice. Now, this piece of advice is going to be for someone who has not purchased a tractor yet. And that piece of advice is shop around. Go find the best deal from a dealer that you trust and you respect and that others talk good about. There's a lot of things that you can do, like, oh, there's a John Deere dealer that's 5 minutes from me, or there's a TYM dealer that's 15 minutes from me. What do you buy, the John Deere or the TYM? Do your homework, shop around, get the best interest rates, get the best program deals. If you're paying cash, get the best cash price for it. Get the best deals on the implements that you can wrap into the whole loan package if you're going to do that. Find a dealer that is going to work best with you to suit your needs. Find a dealer that's going to be honest with you about what your needs are. If you've got a 5-acre hobby farm, you probably don't need a 60 horsepower tractor. So, let them explain to you what kind of tractor you need. Let them tell you the finance terms. Let them tell you the inventory, the stock, the wait times. All these things are important. So some of that good advice that I've heard from people talking to other potential tractor buyers and tractor owners is shop around. Get the best prices, get the best rates, get the best deals, and you'll be a lot better off for it, because I'll caveat that by saying from the best dealer. Get those best deals from the best dealer. So if you've got 2 or 3 dealers in your local area, buy from the best dealer. Don't matter what color the paint is on the tractor, buy from the best dealer. The dealer support is going to be so important when you buy a tractor that it's just crazy. So if you're thinking about, well, this capacity, this lift capacity, this lift capacity, this weight of this frame, my friend's got this one, my friend says this one stinks. Take all those and weigh them all, and do yourself a favor and shop around and get the best deal from the best dealer that you can possibly get. That's a strong piece of advice. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a good piece of advice or not. Let's talk about the next piece of advice that probably, to be honest with you, could probably save your life. A really solid piece of advice: read your owner's manual. I mean, I'm telling you, people, it's crazy. If you buy a new tractor, your new tractor is going to come with an operator's manual or an owner's manual, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have everything in there. It's going to have all the safety warnings. It's going to have the scheduled maintenance services, the 50-hour, 100-hour, 150 hours. It's going to tell you what to check, when to check it. It's going to tell you all the icons on the dash, what each one means, and what you need to do if you see those icons. That owner's manual, literally, even my owner's manual for my two tractors even have don't exceed 30 degrees of bank or whatever that number is. I don't remember what the number is now. But I mean, that literally could save your life if you're flipping through there and be like, oh, this tractor can only do a 30-degree bank, and I know that the ditch I'm trying to do is 42 degrees. I better not mow it with this tractor because it's potentially could tip at 30 degrees. I mean, that's some stuff that could save your life in there. You know what I mean? I mean, not only could it save your life, it could save your equipment. The information that's located in the confines of that owner's manual tells you everything you need to know if it's a good owner's manual. Now, I have seen a product from a different company. Now, I'm not going to say what the company is, but I read that owner's manual. A friend of mine let me peruse it, I guess you would say. And it was like, did these people not, I mean, they didn't put anything in there. And I was thinking to myself, that's not helping the consumer out. And I think, you know, this was, now, okay, let me back up. This was probably 6 years ago that I did that. So, you know, they may have improved their owners and / operators manuals by now, but the one I looked at was not good. And I don't think that's fair for that manufacturer to write a crappy, a crappy owner's manual, because the consumer needs that information. The consumer needs to know these are the parameters of operation of that tractor. These are the fluids and coolants and quantities of things that I'll need as far as hydraulic fluid, engine oil, things like that. So it's important, you know, do I mix antifreeze with the water for my coolant? Do I use a green versus gold coolant? What kind of grease do I put in it? What's the motor oil, the specifications for the motor oil that goes in it? That stuff will save your equipment, especially, you know, we talked about preventative maintenance earlier in the video. Well, you know, the owner's manual will tell you how to do all that stuff. And it will tell you, you know, hey, make sure you put your seatbelt on, make sure you got your ROPS in the extended position so that if you are rolling over a bank of some sort, that this isn't going to, you know, you're not going to fall off of it or whatever. So all these things are important considerations. And I've seen that advice in Facebook groups, and I've seen that advice in online forums, and I think it's solid advice. You guys agree with that? Let me know in the comments below if you agree with some of the stuff that we talked about today. Now, I know that this ain't the only advice you've ever heard. I mean, you're going to have some bad advice, and we're going to do that in another video. But what do you guys think? What can you add to the conversation? Leave comments below while I get all these gnats off of me about what is some more good advice that a potential tractor owner or a new tractor owner or a potential tractor buyer, what kind of advice could they use? You know, start slow and steady. Make sure this is the bonus round. Start slow and steady. You know, you ain't got to go 100 miles an hour the first day you pull your tractor off the trailer. You know, learn what the implement does. Learn how the tractor reacts when it's got certain implements on it. Make sure that you understand the lifting capacities. Make sure you understand ballast. Make sure you understand the RPMs to operate PTO implements. Those are all solid advice that you can give people when they're buying tractors. So we just touched on the 3, right? And then a couple of bonuses, bonus tips or pieces of advice. So what do you guys think? Do you think that that's good advice? Do you think that what else do you think people need to hear? What else do you think new tractor owners / tractor potential buyers need to hear as far as some good advice? And we're going to talk more about bad advice in another video. But as far as good advice, what kind of good advice you have? What kind of good advice did you get when you were out shopping? I'll tell you another good advice, another good piece of advice is to make an Excel spreadsheet of all the pros and cons of the tractor you're looking at. I should have mentioned that earlier. That was free. That one's for free. I should have mentioned that earlier in the video. But make an Excel spreadsheet. Lift capacities, prices, weights, warranties, things like that. Put it all in an Excel spreadsheet and compare, you know, whatever, tractor A to tractor B, whatever you're thinking about. So we're giving all these free pieces of advice. Well, I've got something else that I want to give you. It's in this video right here. It's things you need to consider when you're buying a tractor. So check this out right here.